Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here to film a August budget recap. It is now September, so I have just recently reconciled the budget and I just want to share with you guys the results. This video is going to be a little bit different, and that's mainly because I'm still obsessing over this lens, my new lens, and so I just don't really feel like changing it out to do the top-down view situation. So here we are. We are going to be talking about the income for the month of August and then how we did as far as like basically staying on budget. So if you're interested in hearing about that, then please keep watching. Okay, so obviously at the beginning of the month we budgeted just using my income, and we budgeted about $7,300. Around the middle of the month I had brought in about $3,700 and I ended up at about $6,900. So I'm obviously under as far as income, which is not exactly a good thing. I'm under the amount that we actually budgeted, but it all kind of worked out because it just normally all kind of works out typically because we will have an expense that we budget for and don't actually end up having, or my husband will bring in more or something like that. So as far as my income, I actually came in at about $6,900 as opposed to the $7,300 that I actually budgeted for. So moving on to expenses, the first little category that we have is housing, and I am referencing our actual budget over here, which there should be like some pictures and stuff that are going to be popping up right here. The first category is housing. So we budgeted $837 for housing, aka rent slash water slash pest control, but they continue to not charge us for the pest control, and I continue to ask and they continue to not do so. So I'm not really all that worried about it. We paid our regular rent of $620, so we came in under because they did not charge us for pest control, so we're under there. Moving on to the next category, which is utilities. So here in this apartment, we pay cable and internet, we pay electricity, and we pay phone. And we also pay renter insurance, which I would consider to be a utility, but we pay that once a year. So we pay that annually. So as for cable and internet, we budgeted $110.72, and we actually ended up paying $110.72. For electricity, we actually budgeted $175, and the bill came in at $155.79. So we were under about $20 in electricity, which is a thumbs up because we live in Georgia. It's hot, it's a mess. My voice is a little hoarse because I was at a rap concert last night or the night before. So totally off topic, but just thought that I should mention. So as for phone, we have AT&T prepaid. We budgeted $86.50. We paid $86.50. The next category is lifestyle, and that's pretty much like travel, allowances, toiletries, anything that we can't exactly fit in any of the other categories. So as for my allowance, we budgeted $100, which is what we budget every month, and I came in under at $132.73. My husband, we budgeted $100 as well. He came in over at $130.88. For beauty, we budgeted $250 originally, but this hairstyle costs a lot of money, way more than what I thought that it would, and so for that reason we came in over at $290.27, so over about $40. The next category is donation slash gifts, and I will tell you that this one got a little tricky. So we budgeted $400 originally. We came in under at $283.88, but technically we're not under at all. Technically we would be over, but we like to pay it forward a whole lot. We give a lot. I always say if I stopped giving money, then I would probably be richer, but then again, I also feel that that would not be the case, and that if I were stingy and greedy, even for a good cause like saving up for a house, if I were stingy with my money because I'm trying to save up for a house, then I would probably not be blessed as I am. So I just like to give freely to people, and more specifically people in need, or people just randomly. That's kind of where we do much of our giving, just randomly to people, like picking up tabs at lunch and dinner and so on and so forth. And then people in need, And then I love giving to charities as well. So I do that. Sometimes you might not see that in here. Sometimes you won't see all of our donating and giving in here. Actually, more often than not, you won't see it all in this particular budget. But anyway, according to the budget, it is $283.88. And oftentimes when that happens is because we choose to take the money from savings. Like if somebody calls and says, can we borrow or can I borrow or have $300? Well, there's never going to be a time we're putting in our budget that we're going to be able to budget, like that we're going to say that we're going to give away $300 when we don't even know if that's going to be the case. So we try to, for our donations / gifts, we try to budget for what we expect to give. Sorry, I think I just spit. What we expect to give, such as birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, just random donating and giving, that kind of thing. That's what that category is mainly for. We'll never be able, if somebody asks for $1,000, we'll never be able, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to be able to budget for that. So oftentimes those larger expenses come from savings. Although I do want to mention here that we actually just got a free car, essentially. My husband's grandma's car has been sitting for years. Apparently she doesn't live here. She lives in our home state. And we actually just got the car yesterday. My husband got a new battery for it and put new tires on it and oil change. And we had to do enough for it to make the 6-hour-ish trek back to Georgia. But we will take it to our mechanic and have him look at it and kind of do some of the things that we still need to get done to it. But I drove it half of the way. He drove it half of the way. We switched cars. And I mean, it drove well enough. We just hit 100,000 miles on it while we were driving down. So it drives pretty well. We're excited for that. I'm not really sure if we budgeted for it in September. So any expenses that we have like that, just like the car expenses, those had to come from savings, because anything like that would just, you know, like crush our monthly budget. So I'm way off there, but I'm way off topic there, but just thought that I should mention that we did get a free car. So yay for that. So the next category would be toiletries. Now I budgeted $50. We actually ended up spending $81.66. And I'm trying to see, like on August the 13th, as an example, we spent $52.98. Now that could be due to a number of things. So sometimes like cups and plates and those kinds of things we will take out of toiletries because we don't really have any other category. And I would imagine my new lunchbox and my new cups, we got new cups. Well, I basically got two for like the price of one technically, so I gave one to my husband, but those came out of there. So that's pretty much what took us over. Any of our regular toilet paper, paper towels, deodorant and stuff like that, we can very well stick to $50 for the two of us. But anytime we do anything like I would consider a comforter to be a toiletry. So anything like that that we don't actually budget for, we usually end up going over budget. So the next one is miscellaneous. We budgeted $100 for miscellaneous, which is what we do pretty much every month, and we are over at $281.83. So we are way over budget. I have in here a car wash. I signed up for Jenny Craig. That was $149. If you were around for the middle of the month, you probably remember me trying to figure out what the heck that was for, and that's what it was for. We had a fee of some sort. And then we had another miscellaneous expense. I think that was my oil change. So miscellaneous was just, I mean, outside, if you take away the enrollment fee for Jenny Craig, then we probably would have been like more so closer to being to 100 basically. But yeah, that took us way over. For travel, we actually budgeted $375. We came in over at $447.75, and not really sure. I think the only place I went to on a trip to Houston, but for a business, but those expenses all came out of the business category. But just us, we went home and we spent $447, about $450 going home. So that took us over budget. The next one is business. I budgeted $630. I should have budgeted more because we are over at $862.81, and that is for mainly the Houston trip and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're just way over there. I have pretty much no words for that. So the next actual category is health. And so we have my gym fee and my husband's gym fee, both $19.99 at the same gym. And that is what we actually paid. We budgeted $19.99 for both of them. We paid $19.99 for both of them. The next one is transportation, which we have on here. We have in here gas. We budgeted originally $160 because we were down a car for all of August and we were carpooling. We came in under at $131.99. The next big category is insurance. And so we have car insurance, life insurance, and renter insurance. Car insurance is due every 6 months. We pay it every 6 months. However, whenever we made the change to the insurance to add my husband's new car, we had to pay $80. So in paying the $80, we're now still covered, full coverage up until December the 6th, which is when we paid again. So we actually did have a car insurance payment, but all of that actually came from savings. Anything to do with this car, we just had to take from savings. Life insurance, we paid $42.19. That is what we budgeted, that is what we paid, and that is for both of our insurance policies. The next one is renter insurance. Again, we paid that yearly, which we're looking to move out of this apartment and into our house at the end of the year. And our renter insurance policy is paid up until May. So I guess I'm going to call them, and I'm assuming they will give us back everything beyond December. So January, February, March, April, May, I'm assuming is what we will get back, which is something like $20 a month, but I still want my little money back. So that's what I will be doing in December. The next category is food, and we budgeted $600. This is before I decided that I wanted to start Jenny Craig. And so because of which we were well over at $1,143.84. Moving on to debt. So we just paid the minimums on our debt because here was the issue, you guys. The issue was, are we going to save for the house and pay off debt simultaneously? Are we going to just pay off the debt and worry about saving for the house later? Are we going to save for the house now and then finish paying off my husband's student loans later? It was just a whole bunch of confusion, and honestly, the time had gone by so fast, and it was basically time to start building our house if we wanted to be moved out by like January, which is what we did. So we eventually were like, okay, we got to have this down payment because we're not down payment, closing costs, moving costs, a bigger emergency fund. Like, we got to have this stuff before we even step foot in this house. So the only thing left to do is do that and then finish attacking the debt. Because I mean, at this point, we have no worry about if we will or won't be able to do it. We definitely will. But that's kind of why we have stopped, if anybody was ever wondering. So we did put the minimums, and so the minimum for my student loan was $221.78. The minimum for my husband's student loan was $73.42, and that is primarily because it is paid up so far in advance. So as for savings and rollover, those are pretty tricky. I do know that we rolled over a couple of thousands of dollars, but that is because my husband's credit card payment was supposed to be due on the 25th, and it is now due on September the 9th, and it just comes out automatically. And so we just left the money in there for the credit card to be paid off on September the 9th. So that being said, I really wasn't able to reconcile the August budget as I would have liked to, because in a perfect world, we would have just paid the credit card before the end of August, but it kind of slipped our mind, so we didn't really do it. But we do know that it'll automatically come out in September, so we're not really tripping over that. But that kind of just made it hard for me to reconcile the budget. So we should have been proactive, but August has been kind of crazy like every other month. That's why all of our bills are on auto pay. So we never have to worry about if we're going to pay them or if we're not, because chances are some of them probably wouldn't get paid. I mean, I know I have the budget planner and everything, but it's a hectic life around these parts. And so as for savings, I'm not sure about that either. I'm pretty sure if I had to, the reason why I'm not sure is because with everything with the car related stuff, like, all we know is that we look at the overall picture of our savings account. So like, I could tell you how much is in there, but I can't tell you exactly how much we saved this month, because while we were saving, we were on track to save like $4,000 or something like that whenever the car stuff started happening. We had to deal with that, and we still have some expenses that we still have to cover with the car, so it's all just pretty confusing. So all I can say is I'm going to try to do better. Hopefully September isn't as hectic, but I'm not too sure that it won't be. But hopefully September goes by smoothly. I consider it a great month whenever I can actually reconcile a budget and I kind of know where everything is, where everything's going. I will tell you, I'm in a state of confusion right now, and I'm just kind of like, all I could tell you guys is I did track every single last one of our expenses. So that's one thing that I can for sure tell you, is how much income we brought in and how much our expenses were with our actual regular budget. But anytime that's card, which the savings account is not technically a savings account, it's technically a checking account, and it has a debit card. So anytime that card was swiped, I was not quite paying attention to it, because it's stuff that we have to swipe the card for, like the batteries and new tires and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. So I hope I did not have lipstick on my teeth throughout the video, because I am wearing a non-mattifying lipstick, which is rare. But this is from ColourPop. Sometimes you guys ask me where my lipstick is from. Mainly from ColourPop. So anyway, that is it for this video. That is how we did for the August. I would probably give us like a big fat D. But it just came so fast. It hit us so fast. Expenses were coming from everywhere. It was just a hot mess, to be honest. Sips tea. So anyway, that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that your August was much better than ours, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.